Hi there guys, it's Mike from MCQ Bushcraft here, and I'm out in the woods today and it's a really beautiful day to be out here. You can see in my part of the world that spring is well within motion and the seasons are really turning. And this time of year, we're in the first 2 weeks of March as I record this, it's a very good time to be going out and tapping silver birch if you want to go out and tap silver birch and drink the sap or make something out of the sap. And really you've got about a 2 to 4 week window to go out within March to do it. Sometimes it may run over either side, but it really depends on how the weather's going and how the seasons are kind of behaving. And I'm on a small vantage point here and you can see down into this ravine behind me. We've got lots of white branches, and in hilly woodlands like this it's nice to use these hills to actually get a glimpse of the canopies if you can. And although I'm still well below it, it just means I can see all the white branches behind me, and I know there's some big silver birch trees there, and they're sucking up all that sap at this time of year, that one last effort to get everything fueled for the spring. So let's go and tap some birch. So I didn't even make it halfway down and I found this big tree here. We've actually got 4 trunks growing out of one root structure, which is quite unusual. But given the good exposure and the lack of competition, they all look pretty healthy. I spotted a bit of polypore at the top, which is always good to keep your eyes peeled for if you're walking along. You see a birch tree and you look up and it's covered in polypores. You know the tree's pretty much dead and you're not going to be tapping that one. And you can always turn to taking bark from it for tinder instead, because you're not going to be hurting the tree because it's already dead. But this tree here looks pretty healthy. I think we'll go for this one. We've got some really thick armoured bark at the base. We're not going to be drilling into that. We're going to go for the thinner stuff here, and we won't need to drill in so far, but we're going to have to prepare some gear first. In this leather bag here I have a variety of items that are going to help us out with tapping the tree. This is where I keep all my maintenance gear and various other miscellaneous tools. We've got a bandana, that's going to help us out a bit later, although we might have something a little better than that. Got a drill, very good for construction projects, and obviously quite useful for tapping into the tree and boring a hole. We have a bone straw, and this is quite good for concentrating air into a tinder bundle if you're having trouble, but also quite useful as a tap to put in the hole. And we have some cordage there too, and this is jute twine, which is very useful as nest material, and cordage. It goes without saying how useful cordage is, but this is going to be great for securing the bottle against the tree, because as it fills up it'll pick up weight and you want to kind of make sure it's in place and not on the floor in the morning. So other than those basic bits of gear there, we're going to need a container. You can use anything from a plastic bottle to a stainless steel container like me. This is my main water bottle and what I use to sterilise water on the fire, and this will be perfect. But if we take the lid off, we're going to need to attach some cord to it first. You can see that my container kit, or my cooking kit, comes in this mesh bag, and this is going to act as like a fly net for our sap, because if we leave this open while the sap's dripping in, the insects will get in. But this will just stop them and it will actually allow the drops to pass through a little bit easier. Another thing you can do is put a thin layer of material over the top and tie that with some string. We're going to need to tie the bottle to the tree anyway, because as it gets heavy it'll start to fall, but you really want to kind of weigh that down with a pebble or a ball bearing or something that you have on you, and that way the drips will kind of stay there and you won't lose so much sap around the edge of the cloth. It starts to absorb everything and it just becomes saturated in the end. So the mesh, just like this, a nylon mesh, it's actually quite a versatile bit of gear, but we're going to tie some cordage around now. A lot of these steel bottles or cooking or camping vessels have lips, and that's really all I'm tying this cordage onto, is the lip of the bottle, just like that. Just a classic granny knot, and that can be strapped to the tree then. So I can't go too high up because of the tripod. I'd be climbing up a bit higher than this, but you won't be able to see it, so I'll settle for this patch here. We've got a way to go to actually get to the sapwood, but we'll start drilling in and we'll see how this goes. think I'll go for this part just here. So it may appear that we're going in very far, but we're really just getting through this armour here. Once thick brown bark starts coming out, we'll know we'll be in the cambium layer, and we want to go a bit further through that so the white sapwood starts coming out. You can see now that the sap is running, really flowing out of there, so we'll get a plug in there nice and quick. It'll flow quickly at first and it will slow down, but it'll still be consistent. You don't want to hammer the plug all the way in either, or else you'll plug the hole. But you can see now the sap is dripping out of there. And we can just put our cord there like this. And that should be it. You'll see it dripping out. So this has been dripping now for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I haven't quite kept track of it. And we've got quite a bit in there and it's still coming out pretty ferociously. I expected it to slow down a bit more than that, but it seems to have sped up. Probably a bit of heat there, or perhaps I've aggravated it slightly, causing it to come out a bit more. But I think it's time to have a drink. So our container's got quite a bit of birch water in, and I'm still collecting some more from the tree as we speak. But this will be the first time I've tried this since last year, and it really is the taste of spring. If you've never tried it, you should. It's so refreshing. It's not particularly sweet, only very mildly, but it's just a really refreshing drink. That's amazing. It tastes so good. It really is quite a unique taste. Wow. So I'm just making a plug out of a piece of birch. I always try and plug the tree with itself in a respect, rather than a piece of foreign wood. That should be fine. So we'll just get this down. There's still quite a bit more in there. Pop that out. We'll put the plug in. There we go. And we'll just cut the end of that off and flush it off. I always put a little bit of beeswax there, just to stop any insects getting round. So you can see there we haven't got much leakage at all, if any, which is brilliant. And we'll just press that in there, help the tree as much as possible. Just seal that in, stop any infection. It should be good. So I hope this video helped out, guys. It's just a very low profile way of tapping a birch tree, and there are many methods out there, and you can have a bit of a research into it and pick the method or try the method that you like the best, and it really depends on how much you want. If you're doing it my way, then you're going to need lots more bits of equipment if you want larger amounts and different bottles and such. But I only really ever drink it when I'm out camping at this time of year, and I just want a refreshing drink in the morning or in the evening or just throughout the day, when I can sort of run a tap and just have a container there to collect some birch sap. And it's a nice, much nicer than water, far more nutritious, some incredible health aspects that are attached to birch water. You know, an anti-carcinogen with some very rich nutritional content. But all of that you can have a look at online if you're interested. If you are interested in any of the equipment that I'm wearing as well, or have used in this video, please have a look at the links below. There are Amazon links in the description, and there are also social media links as well. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I really appreciate you commenting and watching the videos, and hopefully I'll see you again very soon in another one. Take care.